What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is Aficionado here. This is the Amateur Hour weekly show. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. This week we got a little bit of highlights from this week. Some Premier League way back when on Saturday and Sunday. Some European football. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on why I think Liverpool could, minute chance, but could win the treble. So welcome back. It's been a while since I've been able to post. I've been busy. My School of Lower Education has kept me running around, kept me busy. But I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be active again. This episode's all about a week in recap and looking forward to what Liverpool could do for the season. They've really looked like the team to beat in Europe so far. They've looked phenomenal. But they're not the only ones. There's a lot of good results this weekend, a lot of good action, and there's a lot of good action in the week coming up. So be sure to tune in. Premier League starts tomorrow morning. I'm going to be watching. I hope you're watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. You can hear about it right here on this channel. And I'm going to hop right in here. So I was throwing it way back to last Saturday and Sunday. I know it seems like a million years, but it was only a week. But all the way back then, there was a couple good results for a couple of different Premier League teams. First and foremost, West Ham finally got a win. Miracles are happening. Anything can happen. I'm about to go walk on water because West Ham won a game. Brace from Yarmolenko, the Ukrainian striker, and a goal and assist from Marko Arnautovic led them past the struggling Everton Toffees 3-1. My question from that whole entire game is, why is Marko Arnautovic still at West Ham? The man is a class striker. He's got ability, skill on the ball, unselfish. He's a phenomenal player, and I think that he will be moving on to bigger things this summer. But for right now, he's helping West Ham try to scrape the what's best out of the bottom of that barrel. So next good result of the weekend, Liverpool. Liverpool is still perfect, pulling off a 2-1 win over Tottenham. A late consolation goal for Tottenham made it look a little bit better than it was. Really, Liverpool dominated start to finish. Harry Kane was non-existent. The man's been taking a nap the last 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know where he's been, but he's not been playing well. He had one really good open chance, and he wasted it. Wasted. Liverpool they're looking phenomenal, and I'm going to tell you why they do not need Fabinho and Keita right now. Two players who didn't feature at all this week in 2 big games. I'm going to tell you why they don't need them. But I'm going to tell that in a minute when I get to why I think Liverpool could turn the treble. Chelsea 4, Cardiff 1. Eden Hazard's on a different level right now. The man, he claims to be one of the top 3 in Europe. I can absolutely see it. He's playing next level ability right now. That and Olivier Giroud continues to be the best, the most unproductive, productive striker that there is. You just look at his bottom line, and there's not much there. Not many goals, not many assists. But what he does is so under the radar and so underappreciated. It's incredible. The man, he opens up space for Hazard, and he lays off balls for Hazard, and he does a lot of little things that Hazard can excel like he does. So Olivier Giroud, he the gold star. Hazard gets like a big old platinum star for his performances last weekend. Man U 2, Watford 1. Manchester United ends Watford's perfect start, although the Hornets did put a valiant fight. They looked really good for large parts of the game, but they couldn't overcome Chris Smalling's half bike and his hideous haircut. So Manchester United 2, Watford 1. Manchester United picked up a win there, win in Champions League. Maybe they'll bounce back into form a little bit. Paul Pogba in particular picked up a brace during Champions League, so maybe he'll hit his stride a little bit during the league, and United can start to turn a corner a little bit. Moving into the Champions League, started on Tuesday. Champions League is the best competition in soccer. It's so exciting, start to finish. All the teams are able, or they wouldn't be there. It's such a good competition. Just to emphasize that, my very first game that I'm going to talk about, Lyon 2, City 1. Manchester City was the odds-on favorite to win the Champions League coming into this game, and they lost to Lyon at home. Naby Fekir's outstanding half outclassed City, and Lyon managed to hang on in the second half. Why does Manchester City struggle in the UCL? That's a really good question. That's 4 losses in a row for them. I wouldn't take this one too seriously about it. Number one, their stadium was not full for a big Champions League game like that. Their first Champions League game of the year. I don't understand that. If you're a Manchester City fan, why are you not turning out for the Champions League like you are for the league? So that's problem number one. Number two, they did not have Pep Guardiola. Obviously, he's a difference maker on the touchline. A next level manager that can get the best out of players like no one else can. Number three, a lot of a lot of the players out there just didn't look like they wanted to be there. They were not motivated to play at all in that first half, and it showed. It was, Lyon was beating them up and down the field for a while. They pulled one back, could not get a second. They had a lot of chances, but they could not finish. So I would not worry about City too much. I think they will. I wouldn't say odds-on favorite to win the Champions League. But I would say the quarterfinals at least. So Lyon 2, City 1. My next game, another loss for the Premier League. Inter 2, Tottenham 1. Tottenham was ahead up until like the 84th minute when a Mario Cardi wonder strike. Wow, it was phenomenal. A full volley from right outside the 18, right into the bottom corner. Nothing anyone could have done about it. It was something special. And Harry Kane's woes continued. At the weekend, he was seen looking not very good. In the middle of the week, he was seen not looking very good. What is happening to Harry Kane, and why is his productivity dropping off? Does it have something to do with the way that they're playing Lucas Moura as kind of a second striker? I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on going forward, because if Harry Kane stops producing, Tottenham stops producing, and if Tottenham stops producing, then they're going to drop out pretty quickly. So other highlights. Obviously, your two players on a different level, Messi and Ronaldo, each had very, very different Champions League debuts this season. Messi scored a hat trick, a phenomenal free kick placed perfectly into the top corner, and a couple other goals added. And Ronaldo saw red the 24th minute for a very, very questionable call that I think was crap. If you're not allowed to rub someone on the head, if you get a red card for rubbing someone on the head, they're going to be starting throwing red cards out like candy here pretty soon. So Messi hat trick, Ronaldo sees red. He will be back for the United game, though, I've heard. There are rumors that he will only be suspended for one game, which will allow him to make his Manchester United return, which I am sure will be a very exciting game to watch. And then my game of the week, it was a great game. Liverpool 3, PSG 2. Sturridge, Daniel Sturridge, yes, you heard me right. He scored in a Champions League game to put Liverpool up 1-0. They were able to add a second through... I forget who scored their second, but I do know who scored their winner. Bobby Firmino came on late, scored the winner. James Milner scored the second from a penalty, but Bobby Firmino scored a late winner. Couldn't see anything the day before due to his eye injury. Comes on, he managed to get round Kurzawa, fire it into the bottom corner. Liverpool won 3-2. Why is this so impressive for Liverpool? Several points, and they're also going to play into why I think they can win the treble. Number one, they can win tight games now. That's a game. Last year, you see a team come back 2 goals on Liverpool, they collapse. They fall apart. They have that mentality now, that next level. They're like, okay, we gave 2 up. Let's go get another one. Let's go get a winner. It was a poor pass by Salah to give them the second, but they responded well. And that's all you can ask for from a team, is a good response. Salah is not playing well. He's not played well this season so far. He's played good, but not at the level that he is capable of, and at the level that Liverpool will need him in the later stages of this season. Firmino is injured, and Daniel Sturridge came in, and he looked good. He was creating opportunities. He finished an opportunity. He looked dangerous like you want your striker to look, and that is pivotal for Liverpool. Just in case Firmino does go down for injuries, or during cups, or doing things like that, they have a man that they can put in there who will be capable of scoring goals. We all know Sturridge can score goals. That one wonder season where he was with Luis Suarez and scored 20-something goals. But in the last couple of years, the injury bug has been something that he has had repeatedly. And if he can stay healthy and he can be that backup that he is capable of, he can lead Liverpool on the League Cup front, while Firmino leads them on the Champions League and the league front. So that'll definitely be something to watch. Their defensive solidity is much, much, much improved over any previous Liverpool team I've ever watched. Their outside backs, Trent Alexander-Arnold, had Neymar on lockdown for most of the night. Andy Robertson was able to hold Mbappe in check. They only gave up 2 goals due to a mistake from Salah to give it away in the middle of the field, and they got countered on. And just a good finish off a rebounded off Robertson, and Munir was able to finish it with his left foot. So, those are two tough goals to give up, but their defensive solidity is also going to be pivotal for them moving forward. They have Dejan Lovren, a man who played in the Champions League final and the World Cup final, sitting on their bench right now. So that's going to be someone who can really lead that second unit. And if someone does pick up an injury, if you're Joe Gomez or you're Virgil van Dijk, not your Virgil van Dijk, if Joe Gomez picks up an injury, Lovren will be capable of slotting in there and filling that void left behind. So I think Liverpool could be competitive on 3 fronts as long as Virgil van Dijk stays healthy, as long as the often injured Sadio Mane stays healthy. Sadio Mane this season has been playing phenomenal soccer. He's been creating space for Firmino. He's been scoring timely goals. And he's been tracking back and helping defensively, like only Sadio Mane can. So as long as those two are the most key for me. Those two. And a lot of other areas, they've added depth. I mean, Fabinho and Keita did not appear in 2 huge games for Liverpool. Fabinho and Keita, between the two of them, that's like £90 million spent this last summer. So they have 2 players that are very, very capable that can slot into this midfield when your James Millers and your Jordan Hendersons, who are aging, become tired. And they can continue that thing. And also, Liverpool does not rely on the press as heavily as they did last year. Last year, Liverpool had to turn you over to score goals. They could not break you down. This year, Liverpool is capable of breaking you down. The interchange of movements between James Milner and Jordan Henderson and Gigi Wijnaldum are good enough to where they can form those triangles in the midfield and allow Bobby Firmino to come in, play off him wide, and create opportunities crashing the box. So Liverpool's not relying on the press as much. Added depth. Good depth, I might add, and a really uptick in performance from a lot of their players. They look unstoppable right now. I mean, they beat a very, very good PSG team. I understand PSG was not quite at full strength, but I mean, it was still a good win. You just beat the Fab Three, the front three in Europe. That's supposed to be the end-all, be-all. So I do think Liverpool can compete on 3 fronts. It will be difficult. I see the League Cup being the most challenging for them just because that second unit is not really known for their productivity. But then with Daniel Sturridge in there, that could change things. So that's my my El Aficionado official opinion on Liverpool this season. So getting into the best thing I saw this week, that's got to go to. It was actually the best thing I heard this week. Is the Men in Blazers. They do a promoted podcast about the teams that have just come up into the Premier League. I've listened to 2 out of the 3, and they were phenomenal. They were interviews with Neil Warnock and Shad Khan. Neil Warnock is the manager of Cardiff City, and Shad Khan is the owner of Fulham. If you have not listened to those, you need to go listen to them. They are phenomenal. They will be well worth your time. You'll learn a lot. You'll be motivated a lot. It's just a good listen. My worst thing that I saw this week was the Champions Cup put on by the MLS and Liga MX. It was a valiant effort. Obviously, they see the success that the Champions League has had in Europe, and they want to put on that, but it was a cheap imitation. I mean, Toronto didn't even sell out, and then they got blown out. The MLS can't compete with Liga MX yet, and the participation from the fans is not there. But it's a good idea, and I want them to keep trying. That's what the MLS and Liga MX and the Canadian football leagues need to do. They need to come together. They need to form some kind of competition. They need to create that excitement around it. Start playing a little bit better, and that way we'll draw a little bit more attendance. So this has been the Amateur Hour Weekly Show. I'm El Aficionado. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Come back next time. I'll be back next week with another episode. So you have a great week and carry on.